Hi, I'm Jessica, and I'm part of the Assistant DevRel team. We support assistant developers with developer tooling, docs, client libraries, samples, code labs, and more. When building an action for smart displays, there are a few common questions that we hear. For today's segment, we're going to go over easy ways to incorporate visuals to your action with inline responses, creating immersive visuals that render as a full-screen web view, tips and resources for building Canvas actions, learn how to request technology access, and finally, leveraging for smart home actions. So let's start off with the simplest and fastest thing that you could do for conversational actions. If you have an existing conversational action and you want to take advantage of smart displays, but don't have a lot of resources or time to invest, you can use inline visual responses. These types of responses are listed in our docs as prompts. Let's go over the three types, starting with the simplest implementation. You can add suggestions, which are suggestion chips. These make it easier for your users to quickly tap a response, and they also provide a few options for your user so they can have more context on how to respond. You can implement suggestions by adding suggestions and titles to your prompt in the Actions Builder. You can find code snippets for all three types of responses on our docs and GitHub. The second type are cards. You can use basic cards, image cards, or table cards. These are designed to be concise and to present key information to users. And finally, the third type are selection responses. These are lists and collections. With these, your action displays an array of options and your user can select one of them. Again, check out our docs and GitHub samples on how to implement any of these inline responses. Now, if you want to do more than inline responses for your visuals, you could render a full screen web view. This takes us to our next question. What are interactive Canvas actions? Before we dive in, let me show you an example of an interactive Canvas action. Interactive Canvas is a framework that allows developers to add visual, immersive experiences to conversational actions. There are two main parts to Canvas actions, the conversational action and then the web app. The web app is built with web technologies like HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. The Interactive Canvas API connects the conversational action and the web app. Let's do a quick walkthrough on how these technologies work together. Imagine a hypothetical action called Cool Colors that changes the device screen color to a color that the user specifies. After the user invokes the action, the following will happen. The user says, "Turn the screen blue" to the assistant device. The Actions on Google platform sends that user input to your conversational logic that will either match an intent or a slot. In the conversational action, a Canvas response is added to the prompt and is sent to the device along with any metadata. For this example, most likely the metadata will contain the color blue. The web app has callbacks already registered with the Interactive Canvas API. The onUpdate callback can execute custom logic for your web app and make the defined changes. In this example, the onUpdate callback reads the color from the metadata and turns the screen blue. Because these are web technologies, there's a lot of space for creativity and building amazing experiences. Check out our docs and recently launched Interactive Canvas with Actions Builder Code Lab to learn more. Interactive Canvas has been available for games for a few months, and the ecosystem has learned a lot. And this leads us to our next question. Where can I learn more about making Canvas game actions? So we recently launched our games portal. It plays with tons of resources to help build great games for the assistant. You'll find things like our new game design guide, code samples, interviews with game developers and designers, and case studies. Check it out by going to Google/assistant-games. And speaking about games, we've had a lot of interest in our continuous match mode, and developers have been requesting this technology, which leads us to the next question. How can I request technology access for continuous match mode? So first, let's go over what continuous match mode is, and then how you can request to access the technology. So continuous match mode lets you leave the device's microphone open for a set period of time while listening for a list of words you specify. This allows for gameplay where users can shout out potential answers and it could signal to the web app if it hears the correct answer or correct word or phrase. Developers would need to provide a new configuration, which consists of the list of expected words or phrases. The interactive canvas web app will receive a callback whenever the user's response matches with a word in the list. Just note that developers won't have access to the raw user queries themselves. The continuous match mode ends at the configured time, or the developer can use the API to end the mode. Once the mode is ended, the action goes back to the traditional conversation turn-taking mode that normally we expect. To apply to participate, you'll need to meet the access criteria. Be an experienced game developer that has launched at least one high-quality game on a platform like Facebook Messenger, Line, Snap, or WeChat. Mobile games such as games distributed through the Google Play Store or Apple App Store. Visual games on voice platforms such as Actions on Google with Interactive Canvas or Alexa with APL or Web API. And submit a company website containing links to any launch games. You can apply for requests for access at this link. You can use the continuous match mode feature to build game experiences on both Google Assistant smart display devices and on Android phones. Access to continuous match mode is limited, and applying does not guarantee your participation. We'll reach out in the following weeks if you have been selected to be a participant. Pivoting from conversational actions, we have a question for smart home developers. How can I leverage smart displays for my smart home action? Touch controls like brightness sliders or buttons for turning a device on or off give users a way to optionally engage with your smart device through a graphical interface. They can provide visual feedback confirming the device's state changed. If your smart home action supports any of the supported device types or traits, then touch control are automatically enabled. However, touch commands are ignored in the cases of any traits that require two-factor authentication. You can see all the device types and traits with built-in touch controls on our docs. Do you have a technical question? Feel free to post them on Stack Overflow and tag them Actions on Google. For any other questions, post them on our Reddit community. Do you want to stay up to date with our latest announcements? Follow us on Twitter. And of course, if you want to learn more, check out our docs and get hands-on experiences with our code labs. Thanks for having me.